On the third Friday of every month, the options derivative market expires. This is where people use highly leveraged contracts to bet on the future price of an asset. Now, for Tesla, the max pain was at 337 based on the Bloomberg terminal data. This is where the market will achieve the most amount of liquidations if this price is hit. Now, the market always looks for the most amount of liquidations, and that's its aim every time. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this company fundamentally hasn't changed and is only getting better. I understand that Elon is disliked for his political affiliations and his Department of Government Efficiency decisions. It doesn't take away from the fact that the Model Y is the best sold vehicle globally, and it will be soon replaced with Optimus in high volume being on this chart and growing in numbers. It doesn't take away from the logistical and engineering vision that's required to be able to bring these Falcon rockets back down from space. It doesn't take away from one of the greatest achievements I've been able to see in my lifetime, to witness this rocket that weighs 550 metric tons and costs 61 million to develop and build, being reused is something that I could never have imagined witnessing in my lifetime. The car lineup from the Cybertruck to the new Model Y to the Cybercab. And this Cybercab is going to be coming to the market soon, as you can see the jobs increasing. This robotaxi network will transform how transportation is experienced for everyone in the world. And the market and the total addressable market for this product is going to be in the trillions. Doesn't change the fact that this company is a software company that is currently viewed as an electric vehicle company, and therefore the price earnings ratio that's attached to this based on how many vehicles it can sell, not on the future growth of the Optimus and the robotaxi network and the services that they're going to be able to provide. Doesn't take away from the fact that the batteries are vertically integrated into their manufacturing and production lines. Doesn't take away from the fact that their energy business is starting to eclipse their vehicle business. And now we have Optimus and the jobs that they're now looking for in order to scale and build high volume amounts of these units. They have the most advanced dexterous hand. They have Cortex that can function as the brain for this robot, and they have Colossus, which can also supplement the brain for this robot. They have the synthetic data in order to train this robot. They have the real world data in order to train this robot. And all of these things come together to create the backdrop for one of the most life-changing and innovative technological advancements that we've probably ever seen or witnessed in this century. So I want to get into this video. So if you are going to find anything interesting about the Optimus robot and some of the data that I'm about to go through, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below, whether it's positive, negative. Again, every single time I read the comments, whether it's good or bad, it just is so useful and helpful for me. So feel free if you want to, if you have any interest in doing that. Now, the data I'm going to be looking at is from one of the most respected financial analysts, especially when it comes to modeling robotics. This is an area that hasn't really been covered, and it's very bespoke and unique. And Cern is one of the most well-respected in this field. His information, his understanding, he's so astute, and his ability to be able to break down the impact that these robots could have in a realistic way is just nothing short of magical. So I'd say that his information has definitely helped me understand that this could be a reality rather than it being a fictitious future or a negative, scary future addressed in Terminator films. It's actually just something that could become very realistic very soon. So let's get straight into the information, into the data that he's collected, and I'm just going to show my interpretation of it. As you can see here, Cern outlines the two different industries. You've got the oil industry and the labor market. Now, the oil industry has an estimated revenue per day of 9 billion, and the labor market has an estimated revenue per day of 82 billion. This is 9 times bigger. So it's incredible how big a market this is going to be when you start to disrupt just a small percentage of this area. The blue line represents the allocation of bots in the workforce. So if you were to replace humans with 35% robots, this would have an impact of 100% on the earnings and the income that that company would generate. So you can see here the impact is exponential. In this next set of data, Cern's able to cast a magnifying glass over the financials for Walmart, Target, and Kroger and analyze how much money would be saved by employing just 35% humanoid robots for the employees that they have. So let's take a close look at these financials, because this information, this data, is probably the most eye-opening for me. Focusing on just Walmart, they've got 2.3 million employees with an average effective wage rate of $21.85. This leads to an estimated labor cost of $100 billion. And then if you were to replace just 35% of this workforce with humanoid robots, that would be 805,000. But because you only need 3.5 to 1 robots per human, you'd only need 230,000 humanoid robots. This would lead to savings of 23.1 billion, which means that this is a 100% increase in the earnings and the revenue for Walmart. Now, the problem here is if Target and Kroger don't also use this same business model and adapt their workforce, they'll become less competitive and then effectively go out of business. So it starts to impact the urgency of these companies as they start to think about, okay, if this factory, if this company, if this supermarket, if this business are going to start to employ a percentage of their workforce with humanoid robots, then we'll all have to do this to stay competitive and to stay in business. This slide really impacted my unit economics and just to see how much the humanoid robot will actually cost. As you scale the robots, they get cheaper because it's easier to get bulk of each of the different parts that you're going to need for the supplies, for the manufacturing. If you actually break down the cost of this robot, you can see here that the sensors, the hardware for computer, they're all few hundred dollars, $480, $500. But the sum of the parts adds up to an estimated $8,405. That's comparable to a Model 3 of $30,000. So you can see the difference in actual savings of creating these humanoid robots at scale and how much more margin they're going to have in profit over time compared to the electric vehicle company, which is already going to cost more and take up more space and be harder to ship compared to humanoid robots. Now, their current business, autos, is what everyone knows Tesla for. Now, this accounts as one. And then if you were to scale the semis, that would be 0.5x bigger than the autos. The supervised FSD would be 2 times bigger than the autos. The energy would be 2.7 times bigger than the autos. The cybercab would be 26x bigger than the autos. And then the astounding number is 245 times bigger for the humanoid bots. So this just breaks down the opportunity and how much bigger this company can grow over the next few years. Ignore the noise, ignore the short-term macroeconomic uncertainty, and just focus on the bigger picture. Just understand that investing in this company is a seriously exponential opportunity for potentially a small sum of cash that you want to put into something into the future. So if you got any value from this interpretation of the financial analyst Cern and his data, his incredible spreadsheets and slides that he puts together himself, then please like, subscribe, and try and find him on Twitter, because he is one of the most useful follows to have, especially when you want to understand these exponential markets that not many financial analysts on Wall Street are able to model accurately and with the same creativity and imagination. So how could all of this be relevant? There are 2 markets that Tesla are about to dominate. The Cybercab, which starts in June this year, launching in Austin, Texas, scaling out to California, and then many more states will follow by the end of the year and into 2026, which will probably be the biggest year for the move of Tesla. If the macroeconomics aren't too uncertain, then this company is going to start to bring revenue to the balance sheet. It's going to start to be able to show this in its earnings, and that's when usually Wall Street likes to take notice, when they can see the numbers. But then something else that's going to be ramping up in volume this year is humanoid robots. And you can see that the impact that the numbers show this will have on so many different industries, so many different companies, and so many different business models, that this opportunity is $100 trillion total addressable market. And if you are to just address a small percentage of that, then your company will have the ability to scale exponentially. And even though Tesla is currently over 1 trillion, it's hard to see a company that big being able to produce the kind of returns that you're going to get excited about. But when they're going into two markets that have never been realized, the opportunity is extremely exciting. So if you got any value from this, if you got any comfort from understanding that the potential here is truly mesmerizing and exciting, then drop a comment down below, share the video, like the video, dislike the video if you don't like robots and don't like my interpretation of the excitement that this potential market could bring. No problem. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.